ألمانيا ونزلت في فرانكفورت مثلا وعديت من خرجت من المطار وبصيت كويس هتلاقي محطة بتمون هيدروجين. I wouldn't want to go there دلوقتي اليومين دول بس يعني that's basically what it does. The hydrogen is a straightforward thing. The way you manage that is in managing engine controls. And since engine controls can be done now electronically, when you open a valve, when you close a valve, when you do inject, okay, when you do the spark, you see all of that stuff and you can electronic, so it's a change of software, the control software. في حاجة أنت في حاجة في مخك لسه ما ردتش عليها منظرك كده. ها؟ أظن حضرتك ردت على كل. We'll discuss it later. Any other questions?
كنت عايز أسأل بس ليه ما اتكلمتش على الوسائل التانية في الوقود يعني السولار انرجي مثلا في تدوير العربية الوسائل اللي هي زي السولار انرجي مثلا يعني ازاي نحل فيها المشكلة بتاعت الوقود.
The topic of our discussion was hybrid electric vehicles, and I chose to stay with the technology of hybrid electrics in its core. في لب هذا الموضوع. The question of how I use solar energy is a separate issue. And the question of where I get hydrogen from is a separate issue. I can use solar energy to generate electricity, and I can supply electricity to the vehicles. That's a completely different technology model and the business model. Okay? So that's not a hybrid thing. Questions of solar are raising the efficiency of solar cell materials, are reducing the cost, are the question of packaging so that you can get in a very small area or effective area the maximum amount of energy generation and power. So that's, and then you have to release that in power, but that's the rest of the electronics that go on top of the solar cell system. The other question is when to generate electricity, anything that you can think of to generate electricity. So these are those are renewable resources. One of the things that I have not talked about and which I'm very fond of. معلش هقول لكم حاجة ولو في يوم من الأيام قررتوا ان انتوا تقولوا جالنا واحد مجنون من جامعة النيل وقال كلمتين مش مفيدين please be kind ما تقولوهاش بقوة يعني. بس أنا وجهة نظري مثلا أنا عندي طاقة شمسية وعندي مية بحر. Okay? Can you imagine the amount of hydrogen I can generate if I put the technology together well? غمض عينيك كده وتخيل تصحى الصبحيه تلاقي في الاهرام وربنا ان شاء الله ينفق بصورتهم ويقولوا كلام مفيد ويقول لك مصر تصدر طاقه الشمس. نصدر الشمس بتاعتك. ليه؟ لانك انت بتعمل هيدروجين. You package the hydrogen. That is energy that's well contained, and you export that. And there are a whole bunch of technology issues along the way. But wouldn't that be a great example? الحتة بتاعت sustainable energy and renewables, I did not. I chose not to go there because that's not part of the hybrid story.
يعني مثلا ما ينفعش نعمل عربية مثلا في سولار مع جازولين مثلا.
ممكن تعمل عربية purely solar, purely gasoline. ممكن تعمل عربية نعم.
hybrid بالاثنين ممكن.
هو hybrid ممكن تعمل بس the question is not. أنت في الآخر خالص you're generating electricity مش كده؟ How you generate the electricity is your choice. Okay. How you generate that electricity is your choice. Right now, the technology in hybrid vehicles is you generate the electricity using the engine to generate electricity whenever there is an opportunity to generate electricity while maintaining engine efficiency high. If you want to do it otherwise, that's fine. Just think about the issues associated, and it will happen, by the way. Just think about the issues, the engineering issues associated with it. How do I get a solar cell system put in a vehicle that you will buy and drive and put your family in, okay, at a reasonable price? That requires a lot of technologies to be answered. If you're really passionate about solar energy, you have a right to be, and I'm not against it. I love the technology option. Okay? The question is, you have to think of what the issues today are and what needs to be done so we can resolve those issues. Okay. Any other questions?
السلام عليكم دكتور حازم. أول حاجة أحب أشكر حضرتك على السيشن الرائعة ديت، بس كان في حاجة كنت عاوز أسأل عليها. إحنا دلوقتي حضرتك قلت عملنا electric powered cars، في حاجة تانية كنت عاوز أسأل عليها. بالنسبة للجيت بلينز والجيت فايترز، زي ما حضرتك عارف إن هي من أكبر الملوثات دلوقتي اللي موجودة وبتأثر على طبقة الأوزون، تمام؟ Is it available now إن إحنا ممكن نعمل hybrid aeroplane or electric powered aeroplanes؟ وحتى لو موجودة، هل providing the same ultrasonic speed؟
You're taking me into an area I hadn't thought about, بس let me back. ما أنت قلت لي كلمتين في الأول. Thank you for a wonderful lecture. واديتني button بالأخير. لكن, okay? Let me talk to you about that. Everything in the world of mobility, and this is an important thing, and I should have said that in a whole lot. I thought it would come through, it has to be explicit. Everything in the world of mobility is mission-driven. What is it that you want that system to do? And how can you make it happen? You cannot compromise the mission. I'm sending a rocket out of Cape Kennedy, and it has to get out there someplace, and it has to reach orbit at a certain point exactly. And the point is not how to preserve rocket fuel. That's irrelevant, because if I worry about the efficiency of fueling that rocket to send the satellite, I will miss the window of opportunity to put the satellite in orbit, and my whole mission fails. With a jet fighter or with a regular passenger plane, if you look at the amount of power that's needed, I don't know, I'll never say it's impossible. I only say that outside of this room over a cup of coffee. That's in this room, I'll never say it's impossible, but I do not know, and I cannot see in the immediate future anything that will tell me that you can put an electric system that will take a Boeing 747 off the ground, okay, in the runway that we have today, or double that, when that thing weighs somewhere in the vicinity of 300 to 400 tons, fully loaded. I do not know of a propulsion system that will take a fighter plane and have it pull 10 Gs, okay, using an electric system. I don't know of a fighter plane that is supposed to go almost vertical for a finite period of time, based on its own propulsion system, based on electric propulsion. Now, can we do both? Then the question becomes, what do I get out of it, and how much weight am I adding to the plane? الفرق ما بين الروس والأمريكان in fighter philosophy. الروس ما عندوش الماتيريال تكنولوجي، فبيستعمل conventional materials، وصادها بيحط مكن 3 أضعاف حجم المكن اللي موجود in the American fighter. His maneuverability is bad. عبال ما يعمل اللفة والتاني يكون التاني رجل فوق ايده. Okay, so materials comes in there. Again, the same kind of thinking. It's a question of materials and propulsion.